Hi everyone, this is Tiffany with Raising House and Home, and today I'm going to show you how I make my zucchini pickles. So you heard me correctly, zucchini pickles. Now some of you may already have heard of these before. This is a recipe that my grandmother used, and it was one of my favorite zucchini recipes and one of my favorite pickle recipes, and it brings me back to my childhood every time that I make them. And before, I've made them more like a freezer pickle and I haven't actually water bathed them. Honestly, I didn't really get as many zucchinis as I have now. This year I have so many growing, so usually I would just do the freezer pickles and they wouldn't last that long because we love them, so I never really had to water bath. But this year I'm going to, and I'm excited to have them last throughout the fall and winter. So I am going to get started and show you how to make your own zucchini pickles. So you're going to start out with about 4.5 pounds of zucchini. Make sure you wash them really well because you're going to keep the skin on, and just slice them as thin as possible. And then I'm just using some frozen pepper and onion blend. It's cheaper than purchasing onions and peppers fresh, and I also have the canning salt. And so you are going to put in about 1 to 2 cups of the frozen peppers and onions. And then we're going to add about 1/3 cup of the pickling salt. And you want to mix it all around so that it gets into the bottom, and so that as many of the zucchini and peppers and onions are covered in the salt as possible, which I know can be difficult when it's this big of a bowl, but it really does help. And so we're just going to mix it. You can use your hands, you can use a big spoon, either one will work. And now you want to cover the bowl with some crushed ice. You can make your own or you can purchase some. I just happened to purchase some because I was in a hurry. But you want to make sure that you have a top layer all over the top of your zucchini and peppers and onions. And this process helps keep the zucchini crisp so it doesn't get soft and mushy for your pickles. And then you're going to put this bowl into the fridge for 4 to 12 hours. And then you're going to fill up your water bather so that you can get ready to sanitize your jars. And you're going to make sure that you put this tray down at the bottom that comes with your canner so that you do not have the bottoms of the glass jars touch the bottom of your pan. And then you're going to make sure you fill them all up with a little bit of water so that they're not floating all around. And this is still cold water, by the way. You are going to start boiling it after all of them are in already so that you don't get burned. And then we're going to put the cover on so it can help it boil. And once it starts doing like a more rolling boil, you will boil this for about 10 minutes. And then here is just the cloth and towel you're going to put on the counter that you will be putting your jars on once they are sterile. And you're going to rinse out all of the zucchini and peppers and onions with some cold water. You want to drain out that ice water. And now we are going to start the brine while we're waiting for the jars to sterilize. So we're going to use 4 cups of sugar, and we're going to put it in a different pot. And we are going to add our celery seed, which is 2 tablespoons of celery seed. And then you are going to measure out some of your garlic powder. And if you want it more garlicky, you can put more in. You can even use actual garlic. I just used garlic powder. And then we add 3 cups of white vinegar, and you're going to mix this really well, and you're going to bring it to a boil so that all of the sugar will melt into the vinegar. And you will have to stir it quite often, if not continuously. And now that our jars are sterilized, it's been 10 minutes, then you just carefully pour out that water, and then you will carefully set it on the towel. You don't want to put the hot glass on the counter directly, because the counter can be cold and it can crack it. And so now that we've sterilized our jars, our brine is almost done and ready. And you can see that the sugar is almost dissolved and we've got it boiling. So now it's time to add our rinsed off zucchini and peppers and onions. And you are going to mix them in very carefully. And then you will make sure they're completely covered with the brine. And you are going to bring them to just a boil. And once you start getting them to boil, then you take them off the heat. And you will start to use this funnel, which I did sanitize in the boiling water. And you will put it right in one of your jars and start scooping your zucchini mixture. So I was hoping to get 6. The last batch I did, I only got 5 also, so I put extra zucchini, and I still ended up with only 5 jars. So I'm gonna debubble them, and so I'm just taking this end of our debubbler, and you just want to make sure that a lot of those air bubbles, make sure there's no air pockets, because when you can it, you just don't want them to cause any popping or anything like that. So we're gonna make sure that everything is good. And over here, make sure that all of that. And I'm thinking that maybe one of the problems is that I have too many zucchini in here for the brine, so I may need to work on that ratio. I may need more brine versus the zucchini, but we'll see what happens. Now that your jars are full, you're going to dip just a little bit of vinegar on a paper towel. You don't want it to be soaked, you just want it to be damp. And then you're going to take it around the rims and get it all cleaned off so that there's no sticky residue that's going to affect your seal. Okay, so I have these in hot water, and I have this little tool that's a magnetic tool, and you just pop it up and you don't have to touch it. So you're just going to plop it on, and you can use your fingers for this part because you're not touching anything where the food's going to go. And you're going to get one of your rings, and you're just going to put it on fingertip tight, not too tight. There. And now you're going to do that to all of them, and then we're going to put them in our water bather. Okay, now they're all on there, and so now I'm going to pick them up, and we're going to move them to our rack, which we have brought up higher now, and there's a little latch on the side where it stays. You don't want that bottom of the can to touch the bottom of the pan or of the pot. You don't want these cans to touch each other. So we're just gonna put them like this. Sorry guys, I know this isn't the best, but I'm working with one hand. Okay. Okay, that looks a little bit better. I had to straighten out the middle guy. And now we're going to lower it into the pot. I can't show you that because I need 2 hands for that, but we are going to lower that into the pot very carefully and start the 10-minute water bath process. So you want at least a 1 inch to 2 inch water topper. I don't know how else to call it, but you want at least that much of a level of water. And one of the ways you can measure is you can use your debubbler, and it shows that there is over 1 inch of water right now. So that will boil, and that is what you need for canning and for the pressure. So you can kind of hear it rolling, boiling, and it only has 2 more minutes, and then I'm going to turn it off and let it sit for 5 minutes, and then I'll take it out of the water bather. So after the 5 minutes of them setting, I recommend using a pot holder and opening the pot lid away from you. See how the steam is coming out? I'll show you. So you want to open it away from you so that you don't get it on you. It doesn't come up in your face. And now, it's going to be hard to do with one hand, but I think I can do it. Okay. Now we're going to get one of these, and you're going to lift it up carefully. See that water on there? Do not tip that off. You're going to move it carefully over to the towel, and you leave that water on. Okay, you might be tempted to tip it, but don't tip it. It's gonna be hard to see because of the steam. So there they are. They all have a little bit of water on top of them, and that's fine. I'm gonna put the lid back on my water bather so that I can do another batch after I eat lunch. It is 2:30 and I haven't had lunch yet, so they'll start popping soon. My last batch popped really quick. So you're gonna let these sit, and they're gonna pop, and you're gonna leave them alone until tomorrow at 2:30. So for 24 hours straight, you don't touch them. So it is 24 hours later, and it is time to take off the seals. You don't want to leave these on when you put them in long-term storage because they can rust and cause problems with your seal. So you want to take them off. I have left them on like my dry goods without an issue, but I don't want to chance it with our canned items that have been water bathed. So I'm going to take all of these off and get them ready to put away. So all of the lids are off, and I am going to label them all and date them, and then I will put them in our long-term storage pantry. I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you are inspired to try pickling new things besides just cucumbers, and I hope that you enjoy my grandmother's recipe just as much as we do. And if you like this video, you can click like below and also subscribe, and whenever I put up new videos, you will be notified if you hit that bell up in the upper right hand corner. And I hope to be putting up many more videos like this, and I appreciate all of your comments and questions, so please feel free to leave any comments or questions down below. And I am super excited to find out if you are a first-time water bather, and also if this may be the first time you've ever tried zucchini pickles, because they are life-changing. I think so anyway. So thank you guys again for watching. I hope you are happy, safe, and healthy, and happy harvest. And until next time, bye everyone.